Today, we're gonna update you on all of the past, present, and future builds, and we're gonna install a Hippie Bus tree fort on the wall. I've had an idea. We've had this old bus cab around for many years, had a few different ideas of what to do with it, but none of them have been great. Because like, it's all rusted out, the front's smashed in, but it would make a great decoration inside the new shop.
I'm on an adventure. Let's see when the last time this thing was driving. There might be a date on this newspaper.
1/30/96, there's a date right here.
Oh, 96.
96.
Oh, I think we got a registration. Why is there a social security number on this? What is this?
I don't know.
North Idaho Pizza Huts. Is this a check? A pay stub?
Possibly.
Regular hours. 72.5 hours for $362.
My God, that's not much. Oh, but that's probably before tips.
This is in 110.96.
Well, that's the last time this thing was driven, I'd say. Okay, let's see.
That is awesome. Do you realize how classic it is that this man was working at Pizza Hut driving this bus?
With the Rasta electrical tape on the steering wheel.
There is a story here. We got to reach out to this person.
$5 an hour.
$5 an hour at Pizza Hut, 96, rocking this bus. I bet this man has stories to tell. I feel like a Sherlock Holmes right now. This is premium. Kathy is south to 405. Handwritten directions before Google Maps.
That would blow Will's mind.
We gotta leave this and stuff in here forever so we can always uncover the mystery. The enigma of the Hippie Bus. It's my first time driving a proper Hippie Bus. Just how normal our lives are?
So normal.
Very normal.
We do this every day.
We're just pushing our van past our fire truck.
Skeleton sticker.
Oh, this is like those dancing skeletons in that old Disney movie.
But the best one yet, die yuppie scum.
Yeah! That's so premium.
It really fits
this
the vibe.
Thing just has a lot of character.
I think I'm gonna leave the windshield wipers all sad like this. It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
As is, man. As is.
Oh yeah.
It's not enough. Front's quite heavy.
This is one of the more normal things we've done today.
Yeah.
Steven's steering and counterbalancing.
And I'm adding power. Oh no, now it's facing downhill.
Oh, I'm helping.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna make a couple of plates that go from this flange across to this flange, out, and tie into this beam, just to give it a little extra rigidity. Not that there's any sort of strength issues here with just mounting it to this beam, but it'll just wobble a little less, and then it'll just put less strain on this beam. It'll tie them together. So I'll put one plate kind of here, and then another plate somewhere down here where I have a mark. And then I'll make some flanges and brackets on the bus that'll line up with that and bolt into them. And then we'll just get the skid steer in here and lift it up and bolt it in. That's the plan anyway. It's basically the van. You guys ready to go for a road trip? Yeah. Go boys. Yep, they're ready to go. They probably actually think we're going somewhere. Like butter! There'll be another one up here, and then there'll be a cross brace that'll tie this one to that corner, because this corner doesn't have anything to support it up there. I have a piece of 1.5" 120 wall tubing here, which is of course super overkill, but it's one that already has a radius to it from being used in a previous thing, so being repurposed. Plus, it gives sort of a roll cage vibes back here. And it has the added bonus of if I weld it along this surface and to here, it'll help reinforce this plate and its attachment to here, as well as, of course, tying it to that corner. Cool, well, I think we're ready to forklift / skid steer up that cab and see if my math worked out. This is a really hardcore way to check one's math.
This is one of those things that sounded sketchier than it looks at the moment.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
It's not really sketchy at all.
No. I could go get the forks, but I let Asa borrow them, so they're a half mile down the road. And also, I think this is actually going to work just as well, or better.
Yeah.
With the forks, I probably wouldn't have put straps on it, and so it'd be really jiggly up there. This will be nice and stable.
I've seen a lot of things lifted with bobcats, but not one of
This
these.
is not a bobcat.
Oh.
We'll pretty much just get it close, and then, oh, let me grab the alignment punches real quick.
Oh, that's helpful. Will chose such a bad day to miss work because he doesn't have a working
But
vehicle.
think about the surprise he gets when he shows up tomorrow and it's done.
Oh, yeah. It's looking good. You're just on a mission to make your garage as normal as possible.
Normal is my ultimate goal in life. I strive for normalcy. Nice.
Are you experiencing technical difficulties?
Yeah, there's a bunch of dirt on this half of the bucket, so I didn't notice the cab is crooked to the bucket.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. I put a chain around the cross brace and the part of the beam there so that it can't separate this way. Because the problem is if I let it down, it's gonna separate this way and go the way that I want it to. So it's got one bolt in on the bottom there, and then it needs to pivot that way, but not this way. Hey, my math worked, at least two of the bolts.
Hey! Have you checked your daily list today? Engine oil level? Hydraulic fluid level? Batteries?
No.
Tire pressure, very important. Visually inspect for leaks or broken parts. You probably actually did that one.
No.
You're supposed to lube Zerk fittings every day?
It started its life as a rental machine.
Oh.
So that's, yeah, from it being a rental. And I mean, yeah, if you were running 8 hours a day, absolutely. You could grease every day. But
Really?
like, when you're running it like 20 minutes out of the day at most,
Yeah.
a day is a lot longer. Let's see if this will open up enough for me to get through here. Oh. It'll be easier to go around to squeeze myself through the backside. Oh, I've got 5 of the 6 bolts in, and one of them I can't get in at the moment because I actually made the flanges, like, I made sure they were aligned this way and this way, but not so much this way. So they're off a little bit, which means that the bottom one is sticking out like a little ways. So I got all the other 5 bolts in. I'm gonna take the skid steer down so that I can get up in there and like open the door and move through it easier and see if I can suck that tight. Yeah, that's moving the way it needed to.
Oh, good. It looked like it. Oh.
Yeah, I figured the skid steer was still holding some of the weight of it in a specific direction. So
That is so cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like how it's directly above the door. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like, that was how I planned it, but
Yeah.
it looked really cool.
That was the move.
I need to go shut the passenger door on it. It looks dumb with it, like, hanging up.
yeah. It's gonna take a little bit of finesse.
Oh, yeah, no, it works. You just have to have a little bit of...
Well, that's a Volkswagen thing, right?
No,
Yeah.
actually, Volkswagen doors close so well, old Volkswagens, they're very satisfying.
Oh, nice.
I mean, unless they've been wrecked, or in this case, cut in half and hung from a shop wall. You just have to kind of lift it a little bit to get it in there, but I had to do that even when it was just sitting on the ground, so.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's gonna...
more.
Yeah.
This is the vibe, dude.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do like an LED light up here so the whole cab is lit even when we're not in it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Just
That'd
like,
be super
put one,
cool.
get like an actual, just buy off like eBay or whatever, an actual dome light for this,
Yeah.
and just have it.
Uh-huh. And we can still turn the wheels.
Yep. The main issue I have to solve is just these doors. I mean, this one never has to be open, so that's not an issue. But you can roll down your window and yell at people. Well, it is currently snowing outside, as you can see, and we are still waiting on that garage door to get here, so it's very cold in here, and we also have not yet set up the floor heating and boiler and stuff. That's gonna be happening very soon. But I'm freezing today, and I'm tired of being freezing. So, we're gonna go over to the old shop, bring the wood stove over here, and just stick the stovepipe out a window for now, because I'm tired of being cold. My camshaft supercharger adapter.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. the actual mother load. We had a shipment so big it had to show up on a giant box truck. But look at that shiny toolbox. I'm actually really kind of, what's the word, jealous? So that's the camera toolbox, and it's nicer than the toolbox. I think we're gonna need to do some upgrading there.
Yep.
I got 6 of these super bright boy lights up here, which means I can finally take down the scaffolding. We've had this scaffolding in the corner for weeks. We got all sorts of exciting deliveries today. One of them, box from Rogue Fab. That is enough to keep me busy for a while.
Now we're gonna have a serious bonfire. Let's go, buddy! This thing just starts every time. It's never let us down. What's your favorite part of Shrek's?
Probably the somebody once told me that whole sequence.
I like when Shrek is going through the onion field trying to describe to Donkey what ogres are like and how they have layers.
Like an onion.
And then Donkey's just not figuring it out at all. That makes me so happy.
All the skip.
Oh.
Looks like a hell yeah brother diesel exhaust or something.
This is one of those, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Look at this, very nice. Wood stove with a real chimney. The wood stove also burns a lot better with a chimney that actually goes up. So then it has, you know, it actually drafts. Like, I have to close this thing like most of the way to not burn it too hot. I'm gonna put this other super premium air hose reel here. And then I'll put this older one that we had from before. I'll put that one over there in the middle of the shop because I know that that one will get used the least. I thought it was gonna spin on you, but let's see. Yeah. What do you think? Frightening, but that's where it goes. Nice. How does that look? Yeah, it looks fine right there.
Yeah, it looks good there.
It's not like we were doing anything else with that corner. The Shrek might be able to go back, but I feel like maybe here's a little bit better.
I think that would be a better spot.
Here, Shrek just was not getting enough attention. Ye old circulation pump. This boiler actually comes with one built into it, which I didn't realize, so I'd ordered one, but it also has controls for an external pump. So I figure this pump is probably beefier than the one that's in there, so we'll go ahead and use it since I ordered it anyway. Really putting the plumbing in Grind Hard Plumbing Co. today. Got the manifold all set up here. I'm making a list of stuff that I don't have. There's a bunch of fittings that I need. But I've got a pretty good idea of how it's all going to go together. We've got a air separator thingy that gets the air bubbles out. We got a backflow preventer thing so that the glycol diluted water stuff in the heating system doesn't go back into the water. That 90-degree elbow there is just the air intake for the boiler. I was reading the instructions, if you can believe such a thing. Apparently you can go either, the air intake can be either inside or outside. So I figured it doesn't cause any problems to have the air intake right here, and that's much simpler than going up and out the wall. Yet another day of actual plumbing at Grindhard Plumbing Co. Who knew? I figured Grindhard Plumbing Co. we ought to have plumbing supplies, which is actually, you know, pipe fittings, AN fittings, that kind of stuff. And then for the electrical drawer, we have Electron plumbing supplies. Well, for not being a real plumber, I'd say that turned out pretty good.
Looks like real plumbing.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't snowed yet, so my morning ritual of lumberjacking, I got a nice mini truckload of firewood there. Flip this one more log and then we'll go off-roading back to the shop and get building. You getting cozy with the chainsaw there, Steven?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'll hold it in position.
Luckily, we're not going far.
I don't think you lost any pieces.
Nice! Well, it was a little wet, but we can just leave it here in the... It's the great thing about a big shop. We can just leave this parked here for now. Don't even have to restack it. Just throw it straight in the wood stove. We're on the way to finally pick up the new garage door, and so we don't have to have cardboard and plywood keeping us warm. And Edwin here is flying the FPV drone. Hopefully he doesn't hit the power lines. I'm getting close. We need the bottom piece, that's a middle one. Well, now that we got a Volkswagen van on the wall, and we have all this new space. We got ourselves some exciting new tools, including real fancy lights to make everything look pretty.
The Sit and Bent podcast is starting to look a lot better with those.
Yeah, and they just make everything look more cinematic. Even though we have like a couple 100,000 lumens of LED lights on the ceiling, you know, you gotta get spotlighting on stuff like the shiny, bright red new camera toolbox that Steven has labeled everything. Places you can't even walk! You guys won't have seen that yet, but you'll get it later. Yeah, you know, premium swag, immigration, sticky paper, B&H, amateur mounts, amateur supplies, Shrek. This was one of my favorites, this side up. And then Tangle noodles.
Nice. Built-in power strips. We can charge all the camera batteries in one
Oh
spot.
yeah, that's super nice. All the tools pretty well set up in here. You know, this is kind of where the Arc Droid lives for now, but it can be moved around all over the place. And of course, we've got all of our sweet new Everlast stuff. We've got their Power Plasma 82i, which can do way more amps for cutting thicker steel, and it's just an extremely nice plasma cutter. So I use that non-stop with the Arc Droid for making all these fancy parts and hexagons. New MIG welder, the Cyclone 262, also from Everlast. This thing is heavy duty. Look at the size of the Stinger. I've always called it a Stinger. I don't know. Everybody's got their own different names for this part. But anyway, it's way beefier than anything else we've had. It does more amps. It's just, you know, on a nice rolly cart. And at first I thought having them on all three different carts was going to be kind of annoying because I'm used to a tiny space. But having them all on their own carts is amazing with this much space and with a floor that you can actually roll stuff, because like they can just be wherever you need them to be, and then you can move them back and move them around and move them out of the way. And then of course the one that I'm most excited about is this, which is the Typhoon 230 TIG welder, and it is just so much better than any other TIG welder we've had. So far, my favorite thing about it is we got it with the finger trigger. We also have a foot pedal for it. Because I'm always TIG welding in weird positions, having that saves a ton of time because I don't always have to drag the foot pedal around and figure out how to use it. It's got a super heavy duty ground clamp, which is, you know, also a nice hand workout. We're also going to be getting a water cooler for this soon, which will be really cool, which cools the torch with liquid. You can change the shape of the pulse. So it can be like a square wave, like a sine wave. It can be all sorts of different shapes of pulse to do different things when you're, you know. So it's got all sorts of settings and presets and stuff. So like, obviously you can just change the amps to whatever you want, you know, but it also has preset thicknesses. So like 1/8 inch, 3/16, and it'll change the other settings for you. Got the mill all set up, of course. Been using that a bunch lately for all sorts of stuff, drilling bolt patterns and things and all of that. We've got this little, it's called a dividing head. Lets you spin stuff on here, and it's got a degree indicator, so you can, like, you know, do the math and figure out how many degrees you need to go to the next hole. I used that for the bolt pattern on the monster chopper last week. Here's our crusty old lathe. It's an old Atlas lathe. I have no idea how old it is. It's from like the 40s, 50s maybe. It was not in the best shape when we got it. 3-4 years of me using it non-stop, when it's kind of like a hobbyist lathe, and also I'm not actually a machinist. I just start machining stuff, so I'm sure I've made many mistakes that haven't helped it out. But yeah, it's totally worn out. Currently, the only way to get that to work is by putting a vice grip on it. And also just a lot of things I've tried to make, this lathe is too small. It's long enough, but like it's a pretty small chuck, so I can't fit stuff in there. So if anybody knows a good lathe sponsor, you know, hit us up. just saying that we're getting a water cooler for the TIG welder. It just showed up. These quick connectors. That is one satisfying little click. Obviously, this is our 188 horsepower R1 powered long travel golf cart that we bought this summer. We fixed the chain tensioner, that was its biggest problem. I have plans to make the steering a lot better, but for now we just rip it around because it's awesome and insanely fast. We'll probably also do some interesting stuff with it this winter. You know, maybe involving tracks and or skis. That could be cool. Obviously it belongs in the dunes, so we'll definitely take it there eventually. Yeah, lots of ideas. But we also got these dollies. Now that we have a flat floor and lots of space, these make moving builds around super premium. This thing is by far the most useful thing I've ever built for the channel because, you know, haul firewood with it, just cruise around, and it's just so much fun. Like mechanically, it's just super solid. It's extremely reliable. We can supercharge it, but that would negate the two things that I just said, so we should probably not do that. And then we've got Will's murder shopping cart, 6-wheeled go-kart, with CBR 900 engine in it. On its maiden voyage out on the pavement, Will was not hitting very impressive speeds and just a lot of rev limiter, and due to a couple of comments and thinking about it after that, we realized the clutch was not adjusted properly. When he set it up, it's got a hydraulic clutch, and when he set up the other end of it, he just didn't check the tension, so it was just like halfway disengaged. So, look forward to more extreme speeds from this thing at some point, to maybe take it on a go-kart track. You know, it's a little bit janky. I still haven't ridden it because I don't really fit in it very well. Will is only a tiny bit smaller than me, but that thing is just barely big enough for Will. This is Will's best work so far. If he was here today, I'd have him describe it, but you know, CBR 1000 RR engine, 180 something horsepower in a Honda Ruckus scooter. It's got a new back tire that's a little better than what we had on there since last time we showed it. It runs decently, but could definitely use some tuning and whatnot, but given that it's a Ruckus with a CBR 1000, it just really doesn't matter if it runs a little funky because it has way too much power already. So we'll see what we end up doing with this. You know, we can take it for a land speed record. Although we don't want Will to die, so you know, got to be careful with what we allow him to get up to with this thing's shenanigans. Summit reverse trike that I built a few years ago. Its seat has taken some damage, but otherwise it works pretty good. I mean, the battery's dead right now, as are most things here that sit around for a while. But yeah, there's nothing really wrong with it. It just turned out to be really not that rideable. So at least around here, it's just too fast and kind of heavy and chunky for driving around the property. So we do need to take that to the dunes as well.
We already bought the paddle tire.
We did. We bought the paddle tire. We already have front paddles that'll fit that bolt pattern. So maybe we'll take this thing and the golf cart to the... Oh, that'd be a good combo.
That'd be a great video.
This thing versus the golf cart in the dunes.
Yes.
Yeah. The Colonel. Still arguably the best thing I've ever built. The Monster Chopper is definitely going to be higher quality because I've learned a lot since I built this, but like Will and you prefer Sendy because of the like it's lighter and crazier and whatever, but like just
It feels more jank and we're idiots.
yeah,
That's
right. Well, there's that, and some people tend to be intimidated by this thing because it's extremely violent and loud and very heavy. But its handling is unbelievably good for what it is. So yeah, that thing's it's solid. It runs great. It hasn't really had any problems recently. Wondering where the pliers, the channel locks were. I was just telling Steven this morning, I need to take our label maker and print out about 1,000 labels that say, not a table, don't put tools here, for Will. Because I find tools just on every flat surface, or even not even flat surface. There were some bolts like up here on the jet boat.
Oh, I believe it.
Just everywhere. Barbie camper currently it needs a new throttle cable, and I need to fix the suspension over here. When we took it out for a nice trail ride, I clipped a tree with this tire. It ripped the upper A-arm out of the frame, so that's the main thing I need to fix. I just need to weld a little new tab on the frame there, which is a shame because this is a nice powder-coated frame. Eventually I need to build new A-arms, but you could still totally drive it with the bent ones. Both the A-arms are bent, but they're
The
functional.
winch is currently holding it in, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you took the winch off now, it would sit there fine, but yeah, for driving it, like I drove it a few miles back on the trail with the winch holding the A-arm in place. Those A-arms took forever to build, and I really don't want to build new ones right now. I could also probably take the top one out and put it in the press and straighten it a little bit. That would help. So anyway, a little bit of maintenance needed, but whenever we come up with a new adventure to take it on or whatever, I'll just, fix all that stuff then. Our attempt at blasting up a river didn't work out so well last time. We had a lot of fun, but we didn't make it very far up a river.
It's too cold to try again.
It was kind of running a little funky last time we had it out, and I couldn't figure out quite what was going on. Although I did notice last time I was in the engine bay, the exhaust boot, because it being a liquid-cooled exhaust, it has rubber boots, and this boot here has a big old tear in it. So I don't suspect that that's our only problem, but it definitely isn't helping anything. So, and of course, what we call the Stranger Ranger, the 6x6 Ford Ranger. I didn't really build this. I mean, I built the bed and made it better, but yeah, we bought this a couple of years ago. We thought it'd be really fun, and it was a fun project. Now that we're kind of done building it, we decided it's time to pass it on to somebody who will use it and appreciate it. In a couple weeks, we'll be announcing more details, but we're going to be selling it. So stay tuned for that and how to go buy it. But it looks super cool. This bed I'm really happy with how the bed turned out. It looks awesome. It's super duper beefy. Super cool Ranger with 6 tires on the ground and 2 in the bed. And then of course there's a fire truck. We've been promising we're going to work on this for a couple of years. Now that the shop is done, we'll probably start on that either this winter or in the spring, depending on how the other projects go. Because that, I really want to be able to drive that town and pick up supplies or go on road trips. Or like if we were going to SEMA or other events like Wasteland Weekend or something, that's just a Mad Max looking machine. Especially if you put like a monster chopper on the back. That will be coming. It's one of my personal favorite future projects.
What they've all been waiting
Hey,
for.
the elephant in the room. Here's our 2JZ powered lawn tractor thing. Obviously, it's really only aesthetically a lawn tractor. I built this thing quite a few years ago now. You can see I had to lengthen the hood and add some pieces in there to make it fit. But yeah, it's pieces of a lawn tractor. There's a few chunks of the frame still there, but with the heart of a Toyota or Lexus. I'm not sure if this one was out of a Lexus or a Toyota. We had one of each. We got 2 really, really crappy free 2JZs, which of course, if it's a free 2JZ, it's probably not very good. We made one engine that ran out of the 2 of them. So it does still run. I actually fired it up this morning to get it in here, but I found that the throttle, which I wired it with an electronic throttle, That's actually out of a BRZ, Subaru BRZ, the pedal. So I'm not sure if the pedal is bad or if the wires or the plug is bad. Also, the main thing is it just massively needs a tune. Like, obviously you could probably drag race it, I guess. I don't know, you might need a little bit of safety equipment for anyone to allow you to drag race it, but anyway, it needs a little bit of work. Lots of things we could do with it. We will probably do another video on it soon. And now that we have extra space, probably leave it in the shop for now, so that we can have some motivation to get working on it.